Hi, I'm Cherie, candidate for Panama City Beach, City Council, Ward 4. I'm running because I love our city. I have the experience and dedication to make a difference here. I believe our government should listen to and work for its people. I will be focusing on our community, our environment, and I will always be an advocate for transparency. On April 21st, vote for me, Cherie. My name is Cherie, candidate for Panama City Beach, City Council, Ward 4. I approve this advertisement.
Hello. Yay. Super excited. I haven't been here for a while with y'all, and I totally apparently did not put out all the meeting invites for the next shows. So welcome to BayCast Live with Cherie. I have done over 20 episodes at this point, keeping and teaching Bay County about what's going on here, whether it's political, well, mostly political, because we have a lot of greatness going on, as I think everybody knows. So hello, so excited to be here. The questions I got while I was off was, wow, everybody's got questions about all the candidates, and I want to thank you guys for caring and paying attention, because we have an election on August 23rd. In 23 days, we're going to know a few things. We're going to talk more about the candidates as we get through this amazing episode this evening. So let's start off with welcome. My name is Cherie Krim. If you have not watched before, I pay attention to Bay County politics. I make sure that I'm watching what they're doing and saying, because just because they say something doesn't mean that's how they're actually going to do it. So I believe that we all need more transparency. And as you guys saw in my commercial when I ran for city council, I believe in our community, environment, and transparency. And transparency is a very big deal here in Bay County. If you haven't done it yet, go Google Bay County FBI investigations, because you never know what you're going to find. We have quite a few going on right now. And wow, I got to tell you, sometimes living here does kind of feel like a bad movie, like a B-rated movie with all of the corruption, right? Maybe it'll be a better movie once we figure out all the corruption and how far it goes. Who knows how many elected officials are going to get taken down when we look at all of this corruption, right? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting. So I want to go through a few things. Neil Dunn. He stopped making videos complaining. He used to make one every week, but his videos have calmed down now. But I do want to make sure that everybody knows that Neil Dunn voted against the Marriage Equality Act that the Congress tried to pass because, well, we would like to keep marriage equality here in the United States and not move back to the 1950s as we seem to be doing. But he voted against it, and that was H.R. 8404. So here's to all of my Republicans out there who think that the Florida Republicans are not coming after gay people, LGBTQ people. Are you sure about that? Neil Dunn didn't vote. He voted against it. And what is DeSantis doing? I have this later on, but I'm going to say it right now. Why is he going after drag queens? It's like they want to go after the happiest places on earth, right? Disney, drag shows. Oh, they're both these too. But these are not places where hate happens, right? It's all love. It's all kindness. It's a happy place. But yet, that's who DeSantis is going after. Are we unhappy? And that's why we decided to go after all the happy places? So I think everybody knows we had Pride back in June. And I do want to say, at the Pride Festival, everybody who was there talked about how happy it was. It wasn't like other festivals that they went to in our area because everybody was happy. People weren't fighting. They weren't drunk. They weren't causing issues. We were just all having a good time. Why come after that? What is the issue? I don't know, but Neil Dunn voted against marriage equality. And let's remember, Neil Dunn also voted against $35 insulin. Why do we want to keep voting this person in? He's got a competitor. It's time we vote him out. Have you all heard of the PACT Act? If you haven't, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share on my screen right now, because this is absolutely ridiculous, right? I just don't even know why they would even do this, right? And so I'm here on the screen with you guys, right? This is from the usmilitary.org, right? The PACT Act for veterans was blocked. Why would, and I want to say this out loud, why would Rick Scott voted no? Marco Rubio didn't bother to show up. I understand he had an absentee, so that basically made it no. But why are they not wanting to help our veterans? We have to think about this, right? This was a very simple act, right? It is called the PACT Act, and I'm going to read down here. What does it stand for? It stands for Promise to Address Comprehensive Toxins Act of 2002, right? The PACT Act extends federal health care benefits to U.S. veterans exposed to toxins. The bill also considers Vietnam-era veterans that were exposed to Agent Orange. Wow, right? The House made a couple modifications, and then they all decided that our veterans don't deserve service. They don't deserve the health care they deserve. Let's be clear. We, as a country and as a Florida, we voted for Rick Scott, who Medicare fraud. Have we heard of that before? Medicaid, Medicare fraud, Rick Scott. Just Google Rick Scott fraud. It's ridiculous. Then we've got Rubio, right, who's running scared against Val Demings, just making fun of her on TikTok. Yo, TikTok is amazing, and if you're not on it, you should be. But back to this. Why would our elected officials here in the state of Florida vote against the veterans? Can anybody answer me that question? Hey, Rick Scott. Hey, Marco Rubio. It doesn't make any sense, and you know it. So it's time for us to start paying attention. Watch what they vote for, because they're trying not to give us what they say they are. They say they are friends of veterans. Why did they vote against it? There was no reason. They created some fake reason that they wanted just so that they could just, screw the veterans again? If we actually had a concerted effort within our government to take care of our veterans, would we have so many problems at the VA? Would we have the problems that we have? We need a full overhaul of how we handle our veterans. Our veterans deserve the respect and the health care for what they went through. Imagine being the person to say, no, hey, you had toxics, but I don't really want to give you the health care you deserve. That's what our elected officials here in Florida are doing. All righty. Wow. That makes me so sad when I see this. And then, of course, DeSantis and drag queens and all of those things. So PACT Act, we got screwed, right? So really, honestly, contact Rick Scott and Marco Rubio and ask them what the hell their problem is. But what's even better is what has happened with the January 6th hearings. And if you haven't been watching, I'm just going to pull up one article. And that's all I'm going to pull up because it's super interesting, because we have quite a few people here in our area that want to 100% believe that the 2000 Mules movie is accurate. But yet, William Barr said there was no widespread fraud. So disputing President Trump, persistent, baseless claims, Attorney General Will Barr declared Tuesday the U.S. Justice Department has uncovered no evidence of widespread voter fraud that could change the outcome of the 2020 election. His comments in an interview with the Associated Press contradict the concerted effort by Trump. Trump lost. Even Bill Barr knows he lost. The courts have said he didn't win, but yet we still are out there trying to understand this. So please, Bill Barr, no widespread election fraud. So funny thing, speaking of election fraud, right? So we know Bill Barr, we know there's no election fraud, and Bill Barr's putting it out there now. But who was the only person there, I should say, only people there that actually went to the Bay County Supervisor of Elections testing of the systems? I was there. So was another Democrat. And then the only other person there was Francis Gordon, who's running for school board. If we had election fraud, wouldn't you want to be there to learn how the machines work? I'm sorry. If you can't even show up for the basics, are you really who you say you are? We can't say there's election fraud and then say it's not in my county, right? It's just like saying, oh my goodness, I can't even believe that we're down this path. But I will say this, and I think we all will agree, Mark Anderson, our SOE here in Bay County, is an amazing, amazing person. He also makes, almost $200,000 a year. Did you know that the supervisor of elections made that type of money? It's a lot. So does the property appraiser, the superintendent of the schools. But there's a lot of money to be out there for these positions. So who wants to be the next supervisor of elections? That's the question, because Mark's not going to be around forever. Who wants that job? It'll be an interesting one. So, wow. So Bill Barr has said there's no election fraud. As on a daily basis, and I'm going to just pull up my phone here and check for today. I normally get about, 3 or 4 text messages from Donald Trump a day. So we're going to look at today. So today must be very bad because I got it at 6:52 a.m., right? President Trump, I've texted a lot, but I need you now more than ever. Donate for 10 times impact. And then we got, friend, we're begging you. Then action required, Team Trump. Warning, offer expiring. Please, friend, President Trump is saving a spot for you on the donor wall. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 text messages today. And I've gotten over 10 emails as well. When are we going to realize or even want to say the things? Why is Donald Trump working so hard to still get money? According to the RNC, they're paying for his legal bills. So where's all this money going y'all are giving it? You know, if and when this goes down in history as one of the biggest grifts, right? Like, where's this money going to? Why do we keep giving to a man who lost the election? Why do we keep giving to somebody who keeps lying to us? I really want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. But in the meantime, just know, don't give to Donald Trump. He's not running for president, and he doesn't need your money unless you really want to give it to him to keep up his lavish lifestyle. Okay. All right. PCB corruption. Oh my goodness. Like, I can't even, if you watch the last city council meeting, you know, the DBAT and wow. Why is it that when we put out RFPs or we're putting out things from the city, that they kind of already know who they want to get it before they actually put it out? That's the problem, right? Now, also when you listen to the Panama City Beach City Council meetings, I did go last month, by the way, and talked about our human trafficking because we were having a training. And I don't know, just randomly out there, did y'all know we have a law that says if you work in the hospitality industry, that you're supposed to be trained on human trafficking every year? Hotel industry, are you? Are you out there? Are you getting trained? Do you know what to look for? I'd love to do a class for you if you want to know. Oh my goodness. But back to the city council, right? Why is it that they call her Council Member Coburn and they call the rest of them councilmen? It's sexist and they know it. I've asked them to change it. Let's just do the right thing. Call them all council members. Don't put a gender in there. Why is it that we feel the need to do these things? I don't know, but we do. Let's not do that anymore. Oh, wow. The next part here. You know, you can't look at the Florida Panhandle and think about human trafficking without actually bringing up Matt Gaetz, right? So Matt Gaetz, if y'all aren't aware, he's under suspected human trafficking, right? So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to pull up an article because, again, we want to make sure that we want to always make sure that the right thing's going on. But this one is even better, right? So Matt Gates' ex-girlfriend is testifying to a grand jury, and this was a while ago, right? This was January. But I want to put it out there so that we understand what he's being investigated for. Gates is being investigated for 3 distinct crimes: sex trafficking of a 17-year-old, violating the Mann Act, which prohibits taking women across state lines for prostitution, and obstructing justice. Did y'all realize, and I know I brought this up before, right, with all of the things we have going on here. Stop trying to have sex with underage girls, y'all. What is the hard part about it, right? Then, right here, and I know this is sitting here on this, but this man over here on the right, that's Matt's friend. He's no longer delaying his sentencing. It's coming out. And he's admitted to things. So just wait, because we're going to find the truth. And it may not be pretty for some people. And some of us may not like it. But Matt Gates really doesn't get it, right? He wants to be out there and think he can get away with anything. I remember, was it Milton? Was it in Milton? I'm trying to remember. It was one of Matt Gates' first rallies after he got elected in 2017. And we drove over there, and I had made a big picture of his mugshot. Because if you don't realize this, Matt Gates has been arrested and he got away with drinking and driving, right? The rest of us couldn't do that, but hell, he's Matt Gates. He gets to do whatever he wants. So there's a mugshot out there. I followed him around with that. There were, what was it? Guns for Trump. I can't remember. There were people there with guns. All I know is they kept looking at me because I was following him around. Like every picture, it was Matt with his mugshot behind him. It was quite fun. But wow. Yeah. Human trafficking, Matt Gates. So Matt Gates can't shut his mouth and decide that he wants to even be a decent human being at all. So we're going to listen to a speech he gave, because Matt Gates can't keep his mouth shut, and he should have, because he shouldn't have done what he did. I mean, it's disgusting at that, but it just, why, right? Just why? All right, so we're going to pull this up. This is on YouTube. Matt Gates embarrasses himself in an attempt to shame a teen activist. We're going to see how this goes. All right.
These pro-abortion, pro-murder rallies, the people are just disgusting. Like, why is it that the women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most worried about having abortions? Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thumb.
And nobody wants to have sex with you, Matt Gates.
So that's Matt Gates in the video next to me, just in case, just to really clarify who Matt Gates is. Let's go to this first picture. This is Representative Matt Gates, a guy who it should really be up to him whether you're hot enough to be human and deserve rights or empathy or whatever. He's the guy that's just blatantly stealing and misusing a George Carlin joke to be funny in front of a group of the lamest young right-wingers of the country. But anyway, he believes that some of the people who think that they should have bodily autonomy aren't hot enough to deserve it. And he has more on this. Take a look.
These people are odious on the inside and out. They're like 5'2", 350 pounds, and they're like, give me my abortions or I'll get up and march and protest. And I'm thinking, march? You look like you got ankles weaker than the legal reasoning behind Roe versus Wade. A few of them need to get up and march. They need to get up and march for like an hour a day, swing those arms, get the blood pumping, maybe mix in a salad.
Ugh. I mean,
you just can't. I mean, I just can't. It keeps going on, right? So as he's doing this, because Matt Gates apparently wants to shame women, which, by the way, nobody should know. Is he still married? I know he got married probably to keep her quiet, right, about human trafficking. Or does he have a son? I'm very confused on lots of things with Matt Gates, and I think everybody is. But who he was trolling, she has super kicked ass. So I'm going to pull this up because trolling at its best was what she did. So this is the activist that he is trolling, right? About being overweight and all of that. So she just put it out there. Like, it's great, like all the things that she's done. But she just put it out there, right? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this. And it's not pulling up because it's a new screen. Oh, let's see if I can get it to pull up. Yes, open anyway. Let me see if it'll pull up. It's not. I'm gonna need to share it on another screen. I'm gonna share, stop the screen. Let's go pick up the other screen because I had to click on something. So he literally just, if you guys can see this here on the screen, Olivia put it out there. So if you're gonna shame me, Matt Gaetz, let's raise some money for abortion. In a week, she's raised $2.2 million for the abortion fund because of Matt Gaetz. That right there, Gen Z is not playing around. They ain't gonna put up with the bullshit. And I don't think any of us should anymore, right? And speaking of which, right, like I think we all know I've been in many of the women's marches, but my favorite new shirt, mind your own uterus. Because if you don't have one, you shouldn't be making any rules for them. Ooh, I said it out loud. And if you are going to go steal people's pictures from local marches and not give them credit, and when they ask you to remove them, you don't, you're an asshole. I said it out loud. Stop trying to shame women for doing what they believe is correct. I find that the victim mentality from the right, oh my God, we got our event canceled. Oh, I might have been harassed. Oh, my yard sign got taken down. It's watching the victim mentality of all the blame, like, oh my God, all of these bad things are happening to me because I'm a Republican. No. Your event got canceled because it was a hate event. And the more people I meet, and I sit here and I called this section bullying, lies, and propaganda. Because that's what we're getting from the party here. Because if you just go look at any of the posts that were made, right, about the event that got canceled, the people who actually got it canceled said they got it canceled. But they would rather play the victim that my event got canceled by some left-wing activists. No, sweetie, it's not that. Our town is tired of the hate, and they don't want your children. Because guess who the groomers and pedophiles really are? They're coming from the churches. The grooming and the pedophilia is something that we heard at this particular march that you feel the need to shame the women for. We heard about the older men in our area trying to groom the children at 16 and 17 years old. Stop trying to date minors. All of you men that are older, please stop trying to date the minors. It's wrong. It's disgusting. And you're trying to groom them. Leave them alone. Please leave them alone. Back to Matt Gaetz real fast. I didn't mention. He was one of only 20 other Republicans that voted against an anti-human trafficking bill. Of course he would, because he has human trafficking, well, kind of attached to him. That's a bad thing. So back to bullying, lies, and propaganda. I like to bring ourselves round and round here at our awesome show here. You know, why can't we show compassion and empathy? Why is it us versus them? Because the bullying, lies, and propaganda doesn't work unless there's a villain, right? There's got to be a victim and there's got to be a villain, right? So right now, the Republicans are playing victim while they're trying to make the Democrats the villain. Democrats only want for you here in the state of Florida to have the freedom to be healthy, prosperous, and safe. That's all. What is wrong about that? It's because of all the lies, right? The lie about CRT or critical theory. I mean, the lies that you can catch on video, right? About what Equality Florida trained our schools here in Bay County. Yes, Equality Florida trained our schools here. They taught kids it's okay to be different. They were not doing indoctrination, which you want to believe. You want to cause these false issues so that you can keep being the victim of the Democrats and our crazy agenda. Our agenda is that we want people to have the freedom to be healthy, prosperous, and safe, and not take away rights from anyone, right? Why is it that everybody thinks that it's such a good idea to take away rights from women on what they can do with their bodily autonomy? But yet you really wanted bodily autonomy when it came to COVID, didn't you? Bullying, lies, and propaganda. Don't use copyrighted photos. And if you're going to, make sure you give the person credit, because that really is that's ridiculous. You know better. You absolutely do. Our town is 100% tired of the hate and the lies. Because the thing is, people are not out there trying to groom. They want this to be. It started with CRT, and now it's going to move in more on the grooming side and all of that, right? Because they gotta have somebody, right, who's the villain in all of this, right? So there can be the victim. Talk to anybody and see who they got groomed by. All right. We are not left-wing activists. We are normal people. Just because you want to make us into that type of villain doesn't mean that's who we are. Because again, freedom to be healthy, prosperous, and safe, it's not hard. Stop trying to take away rights from people. That isn't difficult either, but yet we have that issue. Now, I do want to say this, like watching some of these other states and the questions they have going on about this. If you don't know what an ectopic pregnancy is, you should look it up, because that baby's not going to survive. So why would we force the mother to carry a baby that's not going to survive? Are we really that stupid? Oh no, this is about forcing women. Right. What about the man when she was talking about putting a scope down somebody's throat for something? He wanted to know if we could put the scope down the throat and then see how the baby's doing. Do you not understand that the parts are all not connected? Like, do we not understand these things? And by the way, human trafficking victims, well, people in general, you know what? Any person who has a uterus may or may not know if they're pregnant right away. It's very possible, because not all of us have a period that's at the same time all the time. But yet, we think that people should know they're pregnant right away. But do you not understand how the body works? Oh, yeah. Probably not, because sex education is pretty slim here. Imagine if we taught boys to stop sexually assaulting girls, right? The amount of young women that are being forced to have their sexual assaulters' babies here in Bay County, the young girls in high school, it's disgusting. But for an area that's never really had an abortion as an option, what do we expect, right? It's generational poverty. It's generational, right? We just keep doing this. Because yes, why should we force somebody who's been raped to have a baby? Please tell me. But that isn't the only reason. Why would we force anybody to have a baby? Because you want the power and control of that person. That's the only reason. And it doesn't have to be that way. And we can vote them all out. So, holy crap, local politics. crap. So I have like all of these notes. If you go to the internet, the Republican debate is out there. Watch. I can give you a quick synopsis of that. Yeah. So we'll start with Griffiths and Cloudus. That was a very fun one. Cloudus 100% believes it's a stolen election, and he put that right away. And then America First, of course. Griffiths talked about being appointed by Scott and what his family has done. Whereas we all know Brian Cloudus didn't move here until the summer of 2020 to start knocking doors for Donald Trump. I think this is a great example of a new rule we need to put in place for anybody who's going to run for politics in our area. I think before you're going to run for state Congress, you need to have lived here more than 2 years. I think 4 to 6, maybe 8. I have no issue. 10. I ran after I had, I had owned down at the beach since 2012, but I had lived here full time at 4 years when I ran for city council. I wasn't running for anything at state because I didn't know enough. And you know darn well Brian Cloudus doesn't know enough. He hasn't lived here. Does he even know what our poverty rate was? Does he know that we're number 1 in child human trafficking and crime and opioid and all the issues we have? Or is he just convinced that Trump is the best thing ever and it was a stolen election? Oh, and I think they all said that they were forced birthers. I believe that's correct. Because, wow, just reading through this, again, housing costs. Nobody has good answers, even though there are answers, but you don't want to actually look at that. Talking about the 2000 Mules movie, the guy who made that movie got convicted of crime because he did something bad. And then Trump pardoned him. So he made a movie to help Trump, don't you think? Yeah. Okay. Wow. FBI investigations. Of course, Griffiths wanted to make sure to say his name wasn't included in that. Who's to say it won't be one day? We don't know that. Of course, they mentioned Lynn Haven, right? Because we know about that corruption. And we'll see how that ends up, because honestly, we have to have the truth in all of this. Going back down this path, they both really love DeSantis and will do as they're told by DeSantis, right? And then, of course, there was some crappy comment, right, about the Democrats, how he changed one. It was the most ridiculous comment ever. Being a Democrat is not bad. But yet, somehow, again, back to the victim-villain, right? They're making Democrats be villains, but they're not. If you actually talk to the Democrats, they want to help you. They want to make sure you can get $35 insulin. Imagine that. Imagine somebody out there trying to make sure that your healthcare cost isn't going to go up. Somebody out there trying to help your housing. These people are not backed. But again, back to Brian Cloudus makes sure there was a question about conservatism, Bible and Constitution, and too much government overreach. But yet the government is overreaching, taking away rights from my body. But yet you say too much government overreach, right? You all want low taxes, but yet everybody does agree that businesses need to pay their fair share. But yet that's not what the Republicans do. They keep letting businesses not pay their fair share, including DeSantis. And we got to also realize that DeSantis is pulling some shit to try to get elected again. Watch what they do. He has the money that he could help you right now with your bills, right? He's doing some gas holiday, I think, in October. Why wait till then? The election's coming. Bay County values. Let's be clear. Bay County is not all Republican. It's like 50-50. Republicans and non-Republicans. And in fact, I know a lot of people who are registered Republicans who aren't Republicans. They just stay there so they get to do some voting things. I think we all know that people do that. But we can't say because you want it your way, the Republican, that is Bay County values. Bay County values is not discrimination against, hold on, maybe it is, right? Looking at the flag on the beach, the most sexist flag, PCB City Council calling Mary council member, and calling all of them councilmen. Let's just call them all council members. Maybe we are. And maybe it's time for that to change because guess what, women? We're 50% of the population. We are here to stay. We do have a choice of our bodily autonomy. It's kind of cool that way, right? Who else? Looked at, somebody mentioned, Brian Claudius mentioned Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. Griffiths mentioned being the father of 2 daughters and mentioned Disney, right? Because of course, we're back to the fun places in the world that the Republicans want to hurt. But my question is for Brian Claudius and Griffiths, what if one of your children was gay? What would you do? What if you came out as gay? Are you gay? I know Griffiths married. What about Claudius? I know there was a tweet at one point saying he wanted to marry his husband here in Panama City Beach. Is that true or not? I don't know. But you gotta think about it. Why would somebody want to move here, run for government? And then we're going to talk about his spending habits just in a little bit. All right. Again, back to huge step for life, blah, blah, preserving life bullshit. It's not preserving life. It's telling people with uteruses what to do with their body. All right. Claudius Griffiths, it was disgusting. It was what it was. It makes me very sad that those are our only 2 candidates. And I really hope in 2024, if you're ready to run, I will help you because we've got to get more women in office because less than 20% of all of our positions are women. We have more than 50% women here, but less than 20% are in office. Speaking of that, Trumbull and Piazza. Now, that was an interesting debate. Faith family in Florida, that's Regina. 100% prosperity pathway. She's an Air Force vet. Oh, Joe. Oh, God. Joe Biden, radical left. Thank you, Jay Trumbull. Or no, that wasn't. Was that Jay? Yeah, that was Jay. Radical left. War with the left. What? It makes no sense. It just doesn't. I'm listening back to thinking of how Regina did this part. So she has her program, which is an acronym, is GOD. Of course it is. Graduates, Opportunity, and Development. Now, she did say that she would like to interview businesses before they came to our area to make sure that they have the right values before the business opens. My mouth dropped. You want to know what else Regina had to say? Her daughter, she doesn't like what Disney's doing, right? The woke agenda bullshit from DeSantis. But her daughter has an internship there this summer, and she's quite proud. Can we say hypocrisy? You're really happy your daughter's there doing these things, but yet, what? Like, do you not even see your own hypocrisy? Wow. Of course, what does conservatism mean to you? Regina, we must preserve life, liberty. Jay leans toward libertarian. I want government intruding. Of course you don't. Oh, yes, we should make sure we take care of our military. Really? Rick Scott and Marco Rubio didn't think so. Let's see. Tyndall, we talked a little about Tyndall. Of course, constitutional carry. Everybody agrees in that. Mental health issues. Yes, we're having them. But nobody has any answers on why. If we didn't have victim villain craziness and all the lies and the bullies, lies, and propaganda. Bad actors. Oh my God. Wow. Regina mentioned she doesn't have any big businesses giving to her. She's also Moms for Liberty, so she wants books banned. So, banning of the books. Wow. Of course, they mentioned the Don't Say Gay bill. Why? Oh God, and of course, voter fraud. Can we just stop? Alrighty. Yeah. If you want to watch more of it, yeah. But if you want to come live on Thursday, the League of Women Voters is doing their debate, which will be, you will have Brian Cloudis and Griff Griffiths will be there, and then the school board candidates, Ann Leonard and Frances Gordon, which that whole thing right there and how they did that Lynn Haven's neighbor thing, why would you let Moms for Liberty pay for your venue and ask the questions? Because next time I'll pay for your venue if I get to ask the questions. I didn't know people could be paid off around here to get what you wanted, but apparently you can. And Moms for Liberty's quite upset because then they weren't given their credit for paying for it. Gotta love the drama. All righty, let's look at, and I'm going to have to sneeze, I think, here in a second. Woo! Gotta love. Before we go to that, I do want to show you guys, I've been having tons of fun. And it's really interesting. Abortion is healthcare. But this is my favorite. This group, this younger generation, they're not going to put up with the bullshit. And the lies are going to have to stop. And I'm just so excited for all of it. All righty, let's go and let's look at some finances and let's look at some elections because August 23rd is coming up. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of a couple of things here, make things work better. I am going to share the screen, Mark Anderson, and we are going to go see all the candidates, current candidates and finances. All right, as you guys can see, I'll pull this down. God, the amount of races that we had that went unopposed. Like, I can't even, it makes me so sad that this is what we do to ourselves. Like, we want to know why we have the candidates we have. This is why we have the candidates we have, right? Robert Carroll, unopposed. Doug Moore, unopposed. William Dyer, unopposed. Here, Brenda withdrew, and then we've got Frances and Ann, right, with the money. We'll figure that out. Christopher Moore, unopposed. Steve Moss, unopposed. Dean, unopposed. Frank Self, unopposed. Like, look at this. Local races, we had one that actually had a competition, right? And then you've got this whole craziness with the CRT. But let's go ahead and let's go look at some Ann Leonard. Because I haven't gone in and I haven't pulled her finances because I really, I guess I can. I really hadn't been looking at her finances, where her money was coming from. But I want to say the first one, we'll go in and we'll see. She gave herself a loan and then the money that she has gotten. So yeah, you can go in and you can pull and you can see, where her money is coming from. Let's see, where has she spent money so far? She hadn't spent a lot of money just back there. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of money coming in that's going to be spent. But, ooh, Bill Kramer, Claire Pease. These are interesting people who are behind Ann Leonard. Because these are the ones that you would normally think of. Wow. Okay. Daddy's Place Sports Bar. She spent $995, and apparently Wood for Signs, Mitch Leonard. Those were in kind. And then we've got itemized expenditures. Greensboro, Sinorama. Okay, again, y'all. What is wrong with you? Why do our people who run in this area not spend their money with local people? Why did they send imprint.com or Sinorama or Queensboro their money when they could have gotten local people. God, it drives me crazy. I don't understand why we do this shit to ourselves. But again, it's not my money. But I think that this all should matter. Where does candidates spend their money? So that's where we know where she spends some of her money. All right, so let's go back and let's go to Frances Gordon now. Frances, here's Frances. So Frances spent money way back here. Let's see. That's her money, candidate to themselves, Nancy Viejo. All right. Then itemized expenditures. And again. Okay, thank you, Lamar. She got a digital billboard. Creative printing, thank you. But why? Capital promotion, yard sign, palm cards, t-shirts. Why did you go to Glenside, Pennsylvania? Why? Wix? Nothing costs $324 for a website, y'all. No. None of that costs that much money. We know that. That is for a year. Name badges, 2 name badges for the candidate, CF sign and stamp, postal service, PO box rental. All right. So let's go back. So that's when she spent the most of her money. Way back when. But let's go here in September. Oh, paid the Bay County SOE. All right. So at this point, you will see the amount of money and how much they have spent. Frances hasn't been fundraising very much that I can see. So, yeah, that right there, one race was contested. We got to do better than this going forward, y'all. I know we can. All right, next up, let's go to the big one. Super excited because we want to see. All right. So as we know, everybody is in line now. We know we got Val Demings running. Then over here, in case we are not aware, Neil Dunn does have a competitor because with the gerrymandering of the districts that DeSantis did against what Congress actually created for him, he went against everybody. He wanted to force Al Lawson in a race with a Republican because Al would have won over in his area. So he needed to push this along. So we'll go Neil Dunn. Let's go look at some finance reports for Neil Dunn. And apparently that is not showing up on the screen because he doesn't have any. Huh? I clicked the link. Apparently Neil Dunn has no money in his account because I got nothing on that one. Let's see if Al Lawson does. And he doesn't have any either, so we'll get rid of him. So neither one of those have any money. Next up, God, Lord Lerner. That's disgusting. Let's keep going down. Governor, we know we've got quite a few, of course, unopposed for Ron DeSantis. We have quite a few people running for Attorney General. And honestly, Attorney General Ashley Moody pretends lots of things. But I will tell you, for human trafficking, her task force isn't out. If they would, we would know about it. We might actually have a place for victims to go here, but that's a whole nother issue. All righty. Going down the line here, then we've got Regina NJ and then Carolyn Zonia, and we know Carolyn's running unopposed. So Regina, as you guys can see on the screen, Regina gave herself a ton of money, and then she's gotten a ton of money. You'll see where she has spent the money. But let's just go here and let's see expenditures for that time. You'll see here. Apparently, I want to be on her salary. I want to be a salary? Huh? Okay. Sarah Bennett. Wow. Yeah, that's a nice salary right there. You've got then strategies, campaign management, consulting. Why do people, again, do these things? Not locally, right? And then type of reimbursement, the women's club, event expense, bank charge. So yeah, it's all out there if you want to see it. You will see where she's at right there. Next up, of course, we can see, her and her like $58,000, right? The 56,000. Just shit. And look at that. $217,000. Now, let's go see where Jay spent his money. There you go. He bought his t-shirts in Tampa. What the heck? Administrative services. Apparently, I need to be an administrator for these people. But he gave $157,000 to the Frontline Agency to do his media spots. Which means we're not going to know where he's spending that money because they get to hide it. Because that's how that works. Then let's go to the expending here and see where else he spent more money. Printing and postage, fundraising costs. He's giving himself back money. Printing and postage, $44,000 by Simwins LLC in Tampa. Again, there's places around here that can do that for you, but you're choosing to go somewhere else. Really makes you wonder who they're giving their money to. All right, and lastly, let's see who the contributions came from lately. Oh my God, so many PACs and law firms and this and that. Look at this. Ronald L. Book, governmental what? Government Affairs, Bakery, Confection Connection. Like, holy cow, y'all. Ink Tracks. So Ink Tracks gave him money, but he didn't give money back to Ink Tracks? That's interesting. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. But there you go. Wow. Go, Jay Trumbull. All right. There we go on this. Next up, let's go ahead and I didn't mean to share the screen with y'all, but we're going to keep on going down. Let's go find. So that's Regina. And then Carolyn, you guys will see Carolyn Zonia. There you go. That's how much money she has spent and done. A lot less than everybody else, as we're well aware. Next up, let's scroll on down to Brian Cloudis and Griffiths. So Brian Cloudis, we're up to $71,000 and he spent $61,000. So he just spent a bunch of money. And let's go look at that. Oh no, I picked the wrong one. That was contributions. Expenditures. Here again, paying people outside of our area. Seven Hill Strategy Group, $11,000. And then the Ron, the sign man in Navarre, he spent for the signs. Now, I know the Ron's cheaper, but let's help our local people. Isn't that the point? So we've got him there. So that was Cloudis. But then, holy crapola. Cloudis is about 80,000. Griffiths has 329. So let's see where Griffiths spent his money. Let's just look at the beginning of July here. Woo! Look at this. Oh no, goodness, I hit expenditures. It keeps wanting to change it. Back to this point, right? Two people, no, the Frontline Agency, right? Because they're going to do the media. So you've got Frontline, a whole bunch of money. Ink Tracks, Gagnon's, which is local, right? Local, Mid-South local. You know, spending the money local matters. So if you all want those web links, you can go in and look at them at any point in time. I'm just so excited that all of this is out there for everyone. So I mentioned it already. Upcoming this Thursday, League of Women Voters. Come on out. It's going to be a good time. And I'm certainly excited to be here with you. As a side note, if you'd like to join my women's empowerment group, it's every other Monday. So I'm either here on the screen with y'all, or I'm over in empowerment on Mondays, because women working together is what we need here in Bay County, and doing the right thing is what we can do. It's not about the bullying, the lies, and the propaganda. It's not us versus them. It's about freedom to live healthy, prosperous, and safe here in the state of Florida. And I'm so happy that I get to come and give you guys information. Have any questions? Send me an email, Cherie@BeKindToAll.com. I am here to help, and I am just so excited to have been here with you guys. Now, I think I've already put this up here before, but just in case if I haven't, this right here is my favorite board that I've created. You will see here on this side are the Democrats, and then on this side is all of the Republicans. Do y'all see the problem? It's a whole bunch of white men. I said that out loud, didn't I? Our world is not what it was in 1950. And we don't have to live like it's 1950. We can move in the future, and we can do this together. So I'm here to help move us into the future because I know it's 2022. Women deserve their own bodily, people with uteruses deserve their own bodily autonomy. And every Floridian deserves the freedom to be healthy, prosperous, and safe. So excited. August 23rd. I will be back right before the election. I'm so excited. We got this out there. Make sure you go and vote because you do get to vote. Every Democrat, Independent, and Republican get to decide between Brian Cloudis and Griff Griffiths as our state rep. And everybody gets to decide on the school board between Francis Gordon and Ann Leonard. So I wish everybody a great Monday. I'll be back with you guys in a couple of weeks. Bye. Have a good day.